before you keep scrolling, pause for a moment. What I'm about to share with you isn't ancient mystery or hidden knowledge. It's something far more powerful. It's real. 2,000 years ago, a man ruled the largest empire on earth. He had absolute power, unlimited wealth, and command over millions of soldiers. And yet, in his private journal, the one he never intended anyone to read, he wrote things like, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." That man was Marcus Aurelius. And what makes him different from every other emperor in history isn't what he conquered. It's what he mastered within himself. His name is everywhere now. Philosophy books, motivational quotes, self-help courses. But most people don't understand what he actually discovered. They see the Instagram posts. They miss the depth. Stay with me through this video, because by the end, you'll understand why the most powerful man in the world spent his evenings writing personal reminders to himself about mortality, responsibility, and purpose. And more importantly, you'll know how to apply what he learned. Drop a comment right now. What's one challenge you're facing today where you feel stuck or overwhelmed? We're going to address this. Let's be clear about something. Marcus Aurelius wasn't a philosopher who became emperor. He was an emperor who became a philosopher. He was born into the most powerful position imaginable. His grandfather was emperor. His adopted father was emperor. At 16 years old, he was declared the next emperor of Rome. He didn't choose this life. He inherited it. But here's what separates him from the dozens of emperors before and after. He realized that power, status, and fortune meant absolutely nothing if he couldn't control his own mind. By the time he took the throne at 40 years old, he'd already spent decades wrestling with this. He studied philosophy under some of the greatest teachers of his time, men who taught him the principles of Stoicism. Not the grim, emotionless caricature we see today, but something far more nuanced and human. Marcus ruled for 19 years, an era that historians consider a golden age of the Roman Empire. But his reign wasn't peaceful. He faced constant military threats, political intrigue, plague, betrayal, and the enormous burden of leading a civilization. And through it all, he kept a journal. Not for glory, not for legacy, just for himself. Honest reflections, reminders, corrections. The notebook was titled simply, "To Himself." That journal became the book we know as Meditations. It's one of the only first-hand accounts we have from someone at the absolute height of power, showing us exactly how he maintained his sanity, his purpose, and his integrity. Before moving forward, like this video, if you've ever felt like everything around you was chaos, but you knew there had to be a better way to handle it. The comments are about to get interesting. Now, most people think Stoicism is about being emotionless. Suppress your feelings. Never complain. Tough it out. That's not it at all. What Stoics actually discovered was something revolutionary, the difference between what you control and what you don't. This is the core insight. Listen carefully. You do not control other people's opinions of you, whether you get the job or lose the client, whether someone betrays you or abandons you, economic crashes or pandemics, your reputation or legacy, how people remember you after you're gone, your genetic health or childhood circumstances. You do control how you interpret events, what meaning you assign to them, how you respond, what values guide your decisions, how much effort you give, whether you act with integrity, what you choose to focus your attention on. Marcus Aurelius understood something that took modern psychology 1,800 years to confirm. Your thoughts about an event are often more impactful than the event itself. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Read that again. Because this is what separates people who crumble under pressure from people who navigate it with grace. When a senator plotted against him, when generals lost battles, when plagues swept through Rome, Marcus had a choice. He could spiral into anxiety about things outside his control, or he could focus entirely on what was within his power, his response, his character, his next action. A businessman in the Roman merchant class might have experienced the same economic crisis as a slave, but their peace of mind didn't depend on the outcome. It depended on whether they'd done their best with integrity and reason. That's the revolution. That's why emperors and slaves could read the same philosophy and both find profound peace. Pause the video for 30 seconds. Write down one thing happening in your life right now that's bothering you. Now identify. Is this something you control or something you don't? The answer will change everything about how you approach it. Drop your answer in the comments. Others need to see this shift happening. So what did Marcus actually do with this philosophy? How did he practice it? Practice 1. The morning review. Marcus would begin his day by reminding himself what he would encounter. He knew some people would be difficult. Some would betray him, some would disagree with him, and he mentally prepared himself to not be disturbed by these inevitable human behaviors. He wrote, "When you wake up, think of this. I will encounter a busybody, an ingrate, an egomaniac, a liar, the jealous, and a crank. They all suffer from ignorance of good and evil." This wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. Like an athlete visualizing a difficult game, he was rehearsing his responses. You can do this every morning. What challenges might I face today? How will I respond with virtue? Not reaction. This takes 3 minutes, but it transforms your entire day. Practice 2. The evening reflection. Every night, Marcus would review his day. Not obsessing over failures, but learning from them. He'd ask himself, where did I lose my temper? Why? Where did I act with integrity despite pressure? Where did I judge someone unfairly? What did I learn about human nature today? Am I making progress? This is crucial. Stoicism isn't about being perfect. It's about progressing. It's about noticing where you fell short and course correcting. Practice 3. The view from above. Marcus would practice something called negative visualization. He'd imagine his greatest fears actually happening, his enemies winning, his reputation destroyed, his death. But here's the key. He'd then recognize that he'd still be okay. His virtue would remain intact. His principles would remain unchanged. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By confronting worst-case scenarios mentally, he removed their power to paralyze him. This is actually what modern trauma therapists call exposure therapy. But Marcus was doing it 1,800 years ago. Practice 4. The recognition of impermanence. Marcus constantly reminded himself that everything was temporary. He was temporary. Rome would fall. The people he loved would die. His accomplishments would be forgotten. This wasn't depressing to him, it was liberating. If everything is temporary, then your current problem is temporary. That anxiety you're feeling, temporary. That failure, temporary. That person who hurt you, whatever they did will matter less and less as time passes. This shifts your entire perspective. You stop sweating the small things because you understand viscerally that all things are small in the context of time and death. Here's where I need you. Which of these 4 practices resonates most with you right now? Comment which one you're going to try this week. 1. Morning preparation. 2. Evening reflection. 3. Confronting your fears mentally. 4. Meditating on impermanence. The number or the practice. Just let us know. This community learns from each other. Now, here's what matters. This isn't just philosophy. This has real results in real lives. A surgeon uses Stoicism to stay calm during a complex operation, not as a way to suppress fear, but to keep fear from clouding judgment. A parent uses Stoicism when their child disappoints them, responding with wisdom instead of rage. A business owner uses Stoicism during market crashes, focusing on what they can control, their strategy, their team's morale, their integrity, rather than panicking about stock prices. An athlete uses Stoicism after a loss, analyzing what they could have done better, then moving forward without dwelling on what they can't change. Marcus wrote, "You have within you right now, at this very moment, the power to change your situation. Not the power to control outcomes, not the power to eliminate challenges, but the power to change how you engage with reality. And that power is real. That power is always available." The reason Marcus Aurelius resonates so deeply today, across centuries, across cultures, is because the human struggle is the same. We all face difficulty. We all face uncertainty. We all face loss and mortality and betrayal. What Stoicism offers isn't escape from these things. It offers something far better, a framework for moving through them without losing yourself. This is the moment where I need to ask you directly. Are you ready to actually implement this? Because watching a video and understanding philosophy is different from living it. So here's what I'm asking you to do starting tonight. Tonight, spend 5 minutes reviewing your day like Marcus did. Write down one moment where you acted with virtue and one moment where you could have handled it better. That's it. 5 minutes. Tomorrow morning, before your day starts, mentally prepare for what might challenge you. Who might frustrate you? What might go wrong? And how will you respond? 3 minutes. Do this for 1 week. Not because I told you to, but because you'll notice the difference. You'll feel calmer, more present, more in control of what actually matters. Marcus Aurelius had everything the world could offer: power, wealth, status, legacy. And yet in his journal, his most important reminders weren't about conquest or empire. They were about this: waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's the entire philosophy. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect. Now, in this moment, with what you have, as you are. The emperor who ruled millions died like everyone else. His empire crumbled. His name was forgotten by most for centuries, but his words survived because they spoke to something eternal. The human capacity to choose our response to life, regardless of our circumstances. You have that same capacity. You have it right now. Here's what I need from you to finish this. Like this video if this resonated with you. Comment your answer to this question. What's one area of your life where you're focusing on things outside your control instead of inside it? Just be honest. This comment section is becoming a community of people actually doing this work. Subscribe, because next week we're breaking down the specific practice that transformed how ancient Stoics dealt with anger. And it's something you can use in your next conflict. Tell someone about this video. Send it to one person today who you know could use this perspective shift right now. And finally, take action. The insights only matter if you implement them. Choose one practice. Do it this week. Come back and tell us what changed. Marcus Aurelius's real power wasn't his title or his throne. It was his mind. And that's something you already possess. You just have to choose to use it. Thank you for staying through this. I'll see you in the next one.